Hey everybody, this is Kevin and welcome to a surprise unboxing video. I had not planned on doing such a video, but unexpectedly this box showed up in the mail and it came from Randall over at Max Q Rockets. I reached out to him and he goes, yeah, I got a little surprise coming your way. And so here it is. Now, initially I had no clue what was in the box. However, I suspect that I might know now, having just seen Keith's video over at Model Rockets 321, and the box looks to be about the same, so I'm going to make an assumption that it's the same rocket kit in here, but can't say 100% with certainty, but we'll see. I'll let you know if it's what I expect it to be. But either way, I'm so appreciative of Randall and entrusting us to test his products. And let's get into it and see what this mystery model is. It is, in fact, what I thought it would be. It is the Starship serial number X assembly. Well, the instructions there. But this is going to be the flying Starship. If you remember back in the days of SpaceX, before they were mounting the Starship on the Super Heavy booster, they were flying this by itself. They take it up to, I think, about 10,000 feet. Drop it over onto its side, and it would do a belly flop back toward the Earth, and then a couple thousand feet up they would ignite the engines again and reorient it vertically and land it vertically. It didn't go so well initially, but they eventually figured it out, and those were very important steps to getting done before the actual mounting to the booster for orbital flights. So that is what this is. This thing, basically, it's an enlarged version of his. I'm going to open the bag while I talk. It's an enlarged version of his Starship booster, Super Heavy booster flying model. And but this is just, like I said, the Starship, a little bit bigger version. I believe this flies on D motors. So let's have a look at everything. Oh, we got a bunch of stuff inside the tube here. Got a parachute kit, which I'm really, oh, good. That's quite a bit of clay there. I am really a big fan of his parachutes. If you notice, I use his parachutes on a lot of my other rockets that I fly, not just Max Q rockets. Okay, here we go. All sorts of goodies. So let's take a look at the instructions here. Now, I know there's some adjustments that need to be made to the instructions, which not a big deal. I'm sure he'll correct that as he moves forward. But basically, we're going to snap the top and bottom flaps to the ship body end of the nose cone. We're going to glue the body halves together, attach our shock cord, and paint it. And then mount the engine mount, and that looks like, and I appreciate him doing this now. He's including a cardboard. Oh, that is some solid cardboard tubing. He's including this cardboard to help absorb some of the ejection charge, so we don't get melting of the plastic on the motor ejection. There we go. Yeah, nice. Very, very good. Very good quality idea there. All right, let's go ahead and build this thing. I'm going to kind of clear the board, get some plastic cement out, and we're going to build this rocket. Okay, so off camera, I've been doing some analyzing of this kit and kind of looking things over, and I gotta say, once again, Max Q, Randall over Max Q, just hit it out of the park as far as design characteristics. Just phenomenal engineering and planning behind this. One thing to note, I am going to, and I don't think you need to, this cardboard tube is not, it doesn't mention gluing it in. I don't believe you need to glue it in because the exhaust blast is going to come through it. There's really no pressure on pushing it out. That being said, though, I am going to take, and this is just my own doing, I'm just going to take some masking tape and wrap it around that joint because I can. And in the future, I can always just peel off the tape and insert a new tube if it ever comes to that point. So that's just something that I want to do to keep from losing this at ejection time. Again, nothing's permanent. That's that. Also, I do plan on picking up a second one of these for display purposes, and on the display model I am going to paint it chrome. However, because this is going to be my flight model and where I fly, conditions are pretty rough on paint, I'm going to leave it unpainted. Couple reasons. One, it's going to get dinged up anyway. The silver color isn't bad at all. In fact, stock, this looks like, you know, it could, from a distance, it could be silver paint. And secondly, it's going to make it a little bit lighter, a little bit better performance. Not extremely, but, you know, every little bit helps. So I'm going to leave it unpainted. Step one, though, in the assembly is attaching the fins. So let me take my main body tube here. And another thing I want to point out is he provides the fins for display, you know, scale-looking fins. But for flight purposes, there are some removable, more or less transparent, it's not fully transparent obviously, but fins that can snap in and snap out, and that enables you to get better flight performance than your standard two fin, which I don't think would fly very good. So very, very cool design there. We'll set those aside for when it comes time to fly the rocket. But now we're going to insert our fins. Now, very good recommendation on his point is to run your hand inside the tube and give some support behind the pop-ins, because it could possibly snap the plastic if you compress it too much. So my hand's behind it. I'm going to just go and snap these into position. I am being very, very gentle. I don't want to crack anything. Whoop. There we go. It seems like these back ones are a little thicker. There we go. How cool is that? I mean, seriously, that is just wow. Okay, let's get the other fin on. I'm gonna do the front one first, just to get us our alignment. Okay, and then I'll rotate it around, put my hand in from the back side here and push these in. Let's see. Maybe coming from the side, maybe? There we go. Whew. Okay. They are secure though, I'll tell you. I don't think they're coming off. All right, now let's set that aside and get to the front fins. A little thinner plastic, you definitely want to have the support inside with your hand. Okay, that goes a lot easier. That's the way it's flight mode. On the ground, you can have them open, but for flight, that's not going to affect anything at all. So, but that is on now, nice and secure. I'm going to set that aside. Now, I will say, before I glue the upper half of the body tube onto the lower half, I want to go ahead and attach my shock cord now, because it's going to be hard to reach in and attach it after the top's been glued on. So let's go ahead and take our Kevlar cord here. Okay, we're going to feed it through this little bracket here, this little brace. And I'm going to do a slip knot. And we're going to cinch it down to the bracket. And in that position right there, I'm going to take just a drop of CA glue, put it on the knot and the bracket. just to help keep things from sliding too much. A little shot of kicker. Okay, now we can trim this little tail off. And Kevlar is a lot easier to cut if you've hardened it with some CA. Dry strands are very flexible and they don't cut really well, so it's good to harden it with the CA first. Okay, now we can actually just tuck this in, get it out of the way temporarily while we glue the upper body half on. Now, one thing to keep in mind on the body half, he's got some details printed down at this end right here. This is the end that goes down onto the lower half, and it needs to align with these raceways right there. So it's going to go like that. Okay, so now let me go ahead and get some plastic cement. You can use CA, you can use a variety of things. I do like to use my plastic cement, however. So I'm going to place the cement on the inside of the coupler. That way any excess glue is pushed up, not out at the seam. So let me find those marks right here. Make sure we're on the right side. And you don't want to overdo it with the cement because you can overheat and actually melt the plastic if you overdo it. So actually what I'm going to do here is now take a Q-tip and just help spread it a little bit. Okay, now we're going to fit this onto our lower half, aligning those raceways. Just like that. There we go. Practically seamless. Okay, it's getting too tall now to fit under my camera just about. Okay, so we're going to let that dry up for a bit. Actually, while we're letting that dry, we can go ahead and now attach our elastic part of the shock cord. Let's pull the Kevlar back out now. Okay. And what I'm going to do is tie a loop at the end of this to which we can attach our elastic. Kevlar, this Kevlar in particular seems to be a little on the slippery side. There we go. Okay, there's our loop. Now we can take our elastic and tie it to that loop. Put a quick double knot into it. Put another knot. I think the two knots slipped off each other there. There. That works. Okay, then we'll take the other end of this and tie it to our nose cone. Before I do that, however, I am going to actually place a loop in the elastic here for which we can attach our parachute later. So that might be something you might be interested in doing. There, that just gives us an attachment point for the future parachute. Okay. Okay, there we go. I'm actually going to trim off a little bit of this tail so it doesn't get caught up in the shoulder. And I'm going to grab some wood glue and put just a dab on the knot and the end of that cut line just to keep the fibers from unraveling on us. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same down here at this knot. And just kind of work it in with your fingers, massage it into the threads. Okay. So looking at the instructions, we're pretty much done with the motor mount. I did go ahead and screw this end cap in here, but that's where you insert your D12-3 motor, and then you'll close it off with the cap. I'm going to thread this in from underneath. Okay, and then I'm going to take our, this is just temporary, of course I'll do a better job of folding it up later, but just tuck all of our shock cord into the tube. Insert the nose cone, which is actually a really nice, easy fit. I don't think we're going to have to do much sanding, if any at all. And see if I can fit this on camera. But there is our completed Starship. Now again, for flight purposes, we're going to fold these in and snap. In fact, I can go ahead and do that now too. Let me take off my, remove the motor. There we go. That way I can put my hand in for support. You know what I'm thinking about doing actually? Well, this is not going to be my display model. This is going to be my flight model. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a dab of, I'm going to use Testor's cement. It's not quite as strong in case I ever need to remove them and replace them. But what this will do, it'll actually soften up the plastic a little bit. So this can squeeze in just a little bit easier. There we go. There we go. Like I said, since this is not going to be my display model, I don't mind having these on a little bit more permanently. Okay. But this cement, I'm actually using it to help soften the plastic. Get some cement on the studs there. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now we've got it in flight configuration. It is all set to go. I can't even stand it up vertically, it's kind of too tall. But there you have it. Okay, one more process we want to do is take the clay that came in the kit, and first of all, let me weigh it. I think it's going to be a little over an ounce. Let me set it for ounces, and yeah, we come out at 1.45 ounces. So I'm going to cut this down to an ounce. So I'm going to cut off about a third of this. See if we get close to an ounce there. 0.95. You know what? I'm going to call that close enough because I'm going to add a little bit of glue to help reinforce the clay so it doesn't slide out of the nose cone. Let's go ahead and take this clay out now. And I'm just going to roll it up into a ball. Okay, I'm going to take my nose cone. Kind of a little pointed top, and we're going to drop it in. Okay, and then from here we're just going to, the nice thing about this nose cone, it's so big you can actually just kind of press it in with your fingers. You don't need a dowel or anything like on most Estes kits with the long skinny nose cones. Just sort of flatten that out as best you can. See how we're doing? Oh, it's looking pretty good. Okay, nice. Okay. Take just a bit of CA glue and drop it around the perimeter. Just to help hold it so it won't ever slide out. I'll shot a kicker. Okay. So now I've got the proper nose weight for good stable flight. Let me get my scale out of the way here. And something you may want to do, I kind of alluded to it earlier, I believe. This is 70-pound Kevlar line. It's sufficient for this rocket, but if you feel more comfortable, you can replace it with 100-pound. He may in the future upgrade his kits to include 100, but for now this is the thin 70-pound, which he's proven in his test flights will work, but just something to think about. So that concludes the building of the rocket. Sorry about this particular build video was kind of jumpy. I was kind of creating ideas and self-improvements on it as I was going along, and that kind of created for some weird effects in the build, but overall it's a very straightforward build, as is all Max-Q rocket kits. Again, I'm not going to have to sand off anything. The ejection charge will easily blow that nose cone off. So there you have it. That is the completion of the Max-Q rockets Starship SNX. Hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoy building it, and cannot wait to get this out to the flying field and get some launches in. So thank you for watching, everybody. God bless, and we will see you in the next build video.